Hey guys, and welcome back. This is part 2 of the video tutorial using Dreamweaver to create a template using divs and styling them with CSS. Just a quick recap. We've created all our divs, styled our container and our header at this point. We're ready to continue and pick up with styling our navigation div next. Okay, if I click that on the tag selector at the bottom of the screen, you can see that this is the current selection, which is my navigation div. Just a review on the panels here. Right now I currently have expanded my CSS styles and my files panel. Alright, in my CSS styles panel I'm going to go ahead and create a new CSS rule. Alright, we want to stick with ID selector types for now and use the $ or £sign navigation. Remember that your selector name must be identical to the name of your div or you're going to run into some errors here. Alright, so I'm going to hit OK. I want to style this navigation div a little bit more than we've styled our header or our container. That being said, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the box category and change the height to 20. Apply the change there. Not quite where I want to be, so let me try 50. Okay, much better. Next thing, I'm going to go back and look at the type category. Here you can change the font family, size, color, whatever you choose to change there. I'm going to use Arial Black. Okay, apply that. You can see the change. 24 point. Apply that. Okay, that's good. And I also want this to be centered inside this div. To do that, I have to jump over to the block category where the text align is changed to center. Apply that. Looks good there. Alright, background color. In the background category, you can use a background image as well, whatever it may be. I'm going to go ahead and sample this green from my banner. Use that there. Okay, one last thing I want to do, you can see how horizontally the text is centered, but not so much vertically. Okay, and what I'm going to do is give this a little bit of padding to match up nicely there. So I'm going to go back into the box category, look at the subcategory for padding, uncheck the box, same for all, and I'm just going to give this 10 pixels of padding. Okay, looks much better there. If that doesn't do the trick for yours, you can use different values there as well. Okay? So we've got the rule for our navigation div. I'm actually going to go ahead and type the text for the links for this, which are going to be home, interests, family, and lastly plans. Alright, so there we go there. That one's good. Let's go ahead and look at our content div now. We're going to go through the same process. If you click the tag selector down there, you can see that this is your content div. And we can expand this by hitting the enter key after our text. Okay, as you can see, the content div expands. And we can begin working on this here. So let's go ahead and create that new CSS rule. ID, $ content, and hit OK. Not a whole lot I want to do here. You got to be careful about the background color you choose for your content div, because again, this is where all your text, your images, the main content or substance of your website is going to go in here. So if I go to the background category, I really don't want to use any of these colors. They're a little dark for me. So I'm actually just going to stick with white. Okay, and I'm actually going to choose white even though the background is also white, but you'll see why in just a little bit. So let's apply that change there. And we'll continue by looking at the type category here. Again, same thing we did in the navigation div. You can change the font family. Okay, that's fine for me there. I'm not really going to do much else to my content div at this point. Left justified is fine. If you wanted to go ahead and give it a little padding again, box category, uncheck that. Let me give myself 5 pixels of padding at the top. Alright, so that's fine. That's completely fine for me there as well. So I'll just hit OK, And the next thing we need to do to this before we move on to our footer is create what's called an editable region, and we only need to do that for our content div. Just follow along for now and follow these steps. You'll get more of an explanation as we continue on through this tutorial. So I'm just going to highlight this text. Content for ID goes here. Go to your Insert drop-down menu, choose Template Objects, and Editable Region. Okay? We can go ahead and name this editable region Content and hit OK. And as you'll see, a teal box appears around the content. I'm going to click just after the word here, hit Enter a few times. Alright, and the only thing we're really going to work with is the area inside the teal box. So I can go down here further and kind of collapse those extra spaces we made earlier there. Alright, now like I said, last one we need to take a look at is our footer div. Okay, so you can click that and see it's just this tiny div here at the bottom. Let's create a CSS rule for that. ID, number sign, footer. Okay, this is all repetition at this point. Not a whole lot I want to do to my footer here. Okay, basically this is just for general information about your website. If I go to the box category, or the block rather, I'll go ahead and align this to the center. I'm going to leave this text as is. Nothing fancy here. The only other thing I may do, change my background color to match my navigation div there. Okay, that's all we're going to do there. I'll hit OK, and let's go ahead and just enter that general information about our site. For example, I'll hit created by Coach Keener. Put a little divider in there. To get that divider, the key is Shift and the key just below your backspace key to get that divider in there. I'm also going to insert an email link. So I'm going to type contact. And then to insert that email link, we can go to our Insert drop-down menu. Choose Email Link. Text. This is the text that'll be displayed on the page. So I can type webmaster. Email, I'm just going to use a false email address for now, so blah 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 at AOL.com. Okay, and you can see what that did there. Okay, created that link for us. Last thing I'm going to do, create a little area where the visitor can see how often this site is updated, or the last time the page was updated. So I'm going to type last updated. Go to the Insert drop-down menu and choose Date. Okay, it's about halfway down the Insert drop-down menu. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, update automatically on save. Check that box. It'll update the date every time you save it. Obviously, pretty self-explanatory. Day format. If you want a day of the week, go ahead and choose that there. I'm going to stick without one. And then the format. I'll also just stick with this standard format here. You can include the time if you'd like as well. Alright, I'll try that. Hit OK. As you can see, it automatically updates this section here. Okay, and this is the current date and time. Alright, one more thing we want to take a look at before we save and exit this tutorial is changing the background color of the area outside of our divs. And if we look down here at the bottom of the page, and this is an exam topic, at your Properties Inspector, which is this area down here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Page Properties. You can see the category is Appearance CSS. That's fine. I'm going to change the background color of this page. Maybe if I sample the blue inside my banner text, hit Apply. There we go. Alright. So there we go. It's looking good, coming together so far. In the next video tutorial, we'll create the links and have this thing fully functional and ready to go. We'll see you next time.